Thank you for joining us now. Vincent Oshoma is still with us on the program here. Head Capital Market Interstate Securities, looking at the addressing outlook on the economy and, of course, the issue of unemployment rate in Nigeria. So I was asking you to talk to us before we went on break. I was asking you the implications of the rising rate of unemployment in Nigeria.
Yes, the implications, they are very bad when you look at the fact that we are not able to tap into the productive years of the young people that are unemployed. But when you look at two countries, I'll give you two major countries, India and China. They are one of the fastest, among the fastest growing economies in the world today. And when the advantage they have over the other developed countries is the fact that they have a lot of young population. India have an advantage over China, and so that's behind the economic growth we have seen in countries. But when you come to Nigeria, we are not able. We are in a better position than India, but we are not able to tap into this young population to grow our economy and also make life better for our people who still have an unemployment rate of over 17%. So that's the downside of it. The other part is the fact that, like I mentioned, an idle man, they said, is a devil's workshop. If you look at the current situation we have in the country, as well in the northern part where we have insecurity, you can attribute.
Hello, Mr. Oshoma. I think Mr. Oshoma was trying to, paint a picture of a typical example in the north with regards that they
also have issues of kidnapping and all you have. So I can say these are factors that have come out from the level of unemployment we have in the country. So if something is done about unemployment, I think we can reduce the impact of insecurity in our level of insecurity in our country.
Now, the United Nations Population Fund said that Nigeria's population is increasing by 3.2% annually and may hit about 400 million by 2050, of course, which will make the country the third most populous nation in the world. So what do you think we can begin to do to address, that rising, numbers of population in the country? That's one. On the second thing, do you think that the country or the government is addressing or putting measures in place with regards to this population crisis in mind?
Yeah, for me, if there are measures in place, I don't think those measures are actually yielding the desired result, or if they are enough. Because when you look at Nigeria's population, like you mentioned, rising at 3% per annum, that is worrisome because our GDP growth is around the same figure. And that's one of the reasons why we have a worsening poverty rate in the country. Because if your population is around the same level as your GDP growth, that means there's a lot of persons will be thrown into poverty. So, but we need to do more in that area. And for another thing is that for a population to grow, for an economy, for you to have better life for the people, you must control your population growth. It's an issue, and we need more education, which we are not seeing. I remember those days we used to see a lot of education on the radio jingles talking about birth control, but we have not seen them like we used to see in those days. We're not hearing them, and we used to see them in those days. So we need more of that. People need to be educated to a level of control, because we can't keep giving birth to children when people don't have the ability to take care of those children. Those children will form a problem for the society. So the government needs to educate people to control.
Well, I think, yes, of course, we actually need quite a lot on ground to address the issue of poverty on ground. And when you have unemployment rate rising as high as especially the youth unemployment rate at 42%, you have a big task at hand, and if you look at that of course will throw a lot of people into poverty. But I was going to ask you, are you there, Mr. Oshoma?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. So, talking about control or controlling of, our population growth, do you really think, with our culture and all of that in this part of the world, do you think we can really control this?
I think the first step in control is not really to tell people the number of children they should have. The first step in control is to educate the people, because when you have an education, a lot of persons, because if you look at it, those that are educated, they tend to have fewer number of children, except those that can really take care of them. But you see, those that are not educated, they are the ones that have more children that they cannot take care of. So I think if you educate, if you have a lot of educated people, especially their child education, it will help in controlling the population growth. I think that's where it starts from. I don't really know anybody else. So
yeah, just a moment. Talking about education, I mean, a lot of people are of the opinion that we need to start the education from school, inculcate or capture this in our curriculum in school as well, integrate these into our educational system from primary schools to universities and all of that. So what's your position? What's your reaction to this?
Yes, it starts from the school level. I'll give you the example. If you look at the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria, I'm talking about above 20 million. And a good number of those out-of-school children, they are the females. And that is, if you have a lot of females that are out of school, it means that they are going to get married in time. So, and that means they will start giving birth, and then they will have more children. So that is a factor. If we have a lot of persons in school, reduce the number of out-of-school children, let's have compulsory education to the secondary level. If a lot of people are educated to the secondary level, especially for the female education, it will help in controlling the population, because it will stop the early marriages that we have around the country. So those are that measure before you now talk about educating people in terms of birth control, in terms of having better life for the children. All those are now. Okay. I think it starts from taking care of our educational system to make sure that everybody that ought to be in school and everybody that ought to is in school, so that we can reduce early marriages and we can reduce the number of people that we can start giving birth at.
Okay. I think a good place to leave it. Thank you so much for your time, Vincent Oshoma, Head Capital Market Interstate Securities. We appreciate you for your time on the program.